Hi, everybody. It's 9 o'clock.
Good evening, guys.
And welcome to Pokemon TCGO Battle Live. And we have quite a bit to discuss. But Tina had something that I guess happened recently she wants to discuss first. And I guess kind of counterpoint on it. So, Tina, if you would like to discuss, just mention what it is first, and then we'll start there. And then I'll say my part of it. So go ahead.
So basically, what happened, being this involved a minor, I'm not saying any names, but there was a minor who lost at the EUIC and apparently was upset about that. Obviously, he's a kid. And there was a news outlet, and I use that term kind of lightly, who felt like they had the right to talk about that. This kid has autism. So I don't feel like it's right to talk especially about someone under the age of 10 without getting the full story. I felt like it over-exaggerated the situation to... so the headline was like, pro Pokemon player breaks down at international event, and I don't feel like it was obvious that that article did not. Whoever was writing that article did not talk to the parents of that minor, and I don't think that's right.
So what we were talking about off the air was so Pokemon has rules saying if the organizer allows media or live streaming, whatever, and then you're kind of stuck with it. So I'm in the position of, well, the person participated knowing that, or hopefully the parents at least let this person know that there might be a chance that they might be covered in media of some type. And it's basically like kind of like running for office. Once you're in one of these public events, you're basically susceptible to press, and Pokemon has made it very clear that once they let them in, this possibly could happen. And most of the time, it is good stories. A local person, wins championships. I mean, it happened here in Ohio a number of times. We produce champions. I'm just going to put that out there. Ohio produces champions. Sorry, Texas. But this kid just happened. I don't know why.
We have Johnny Kettler. He got second against Tor.
Ashton Cox, Chris Fulop. I don't know who else off the top of my head. Okay, so anyway, it's weird that it is first off a kid, but also a kid with special needs. That's kind of salty. That as a journalist, as somebody who went to journalism school and actually wrote for newspapers and magazines, I wouldn't particularly have taken that angle, but sometimes you have to take that angle to sell papers, I guess, so that is a weird angle to take. But I really hate the preface of the title, if it is in fact pro player breaks down after a loss, because you're not really, you're kind of just, it makes it, in the visual, in the reader's head, they're going, an adult just broke down after a loss, that's kind of immature of them. It really doesn't state the fact that in the header, it should have really said something like, and I think it would not have sold anything if it said 9-year-old breaks down after a loss.
Exactly. Yeah, the way it was, I think the original title was Pro Player Breaks Down After International Event, or something to that measure. I have to go look it back up. I read the title and it said nothing about it being a kid. Obviously, if they're a kid, like, it'd be different from a 29-year-old breaking down versus, someone under the age of 10. I feel like the article title was deceiving, definitely, and I think we might agree with that. But I think when it comes to kids, it's like, I don't think you really have a story when it comes to a kid breaking down after they lost a game, whether it's in like soccer or baseball or whatever. Kids are going to be just disappointed. And besides the fact this kid has a disability, that makes a big PR issue, obviously. Even if he wasn't autistic, I think any young kid could legitimately get upset about losing at a international tournament. Being on stage is very it can be very stressful for these young kids. I mean, I have to do it right now as an adult, and sometimes it's a little bit intimidating as an adult. Imagine doing it as someone who's under 10 years old. I mean, you're under the hot lights. It's not cool up there. Your lips keep unchapping. I've done it myself. I've judged on stage, and it's very intense, and you feel like if any wrong move, and people are gonna call you a cheater. So I think for a kid that even intensifies even more, because with age, I mean, I was an introvert growing up, and if I had to be on an international stage at 8, 9, 10 years old, I would be intimidated, and I might be emotional even after a win. It'd be a lot for me to take as a young kid. Now as an adult, that's a little bit different. I've learned to, look at the back wall or some tactic like that, not look people exactly in the eye. I memorize what I'm going to say beforehand. I get really comfortable with my platform and the topics I'm going to talk to. But kids, it takes a lot of practice. I mean, kids, they don't necessarily have that yet, especially if you're under the age of 10. Now, if it was a senior player, they were 14, 13, that, like, especially if they're adult, yes, that would be immature. But I feel like when you're talking about someone who's under the age of 10, I think that's when you're pushing your boundaries.
I mean, because at this point, I would feel like maybe Pokemon should update their media coverage or live stream, whatever, to say, okay, sure, master players, you're susceptible, no questions asked. But juniors and seniors, maybe your parents need to sign off on any type of coverage, because then we end up with these type of situations. And frankly, I don't know if Pokemon thinks make them look good or bad. I mean, some people believe all news is good news, but personally, this makes it look. I mean, I feel like it makes it look a little bad. It's not a good type of news story.
I feel like. Well, the thing is, the original reason Pokemon did that statement of your picture can be taken in every event is because in the old days, Pokemon wanted to put things on its website to, do promotional things. They would get photographers and take pictures of the event, put it on the website. And anytime they did that, you would have to sign a piece of paper, and then it just got really tedious because I actually did one of those in 2006. They took a picture of me wearing my Pikachu costume and posted it on Pokemon.com. I was actually on the front page of Pokemon.com in 2006. It's kind of weird. But, yeah, instead of having everyone sign those papers, they just put a piece of paper up saying, hey, if you walk into our events, we can take pictures of you and put it on our website. This was a third-party I think a news story that saw the entire thing on Twitch or something like that. Now, Pokemon wants to put his stuff on Twitch because, that's exposure for their game. Does it make Pokemon look bad that a kid cried or got a little bit upset during a top 2 match? I don't think so. I mean, it's a kid. It would make Pokemon look bad if it was an adult? Yeah. But I don't necessarily think it makes Pokemon look bad that a kid got a little bit upset on camera. I think it says a lot about Pokemon saying, hey, we accept everybody regardless of age or disability. I think that says a lot about Pokemon. And we talk about that statement that Pokemon made, I think it was a month or two ago now, that we accept everyone regardless of race, religion, political affiliation, disability, social class, money, whatever. And I think that's I think this issue will highlight the fact that yes, we do accept everybody of every age and every disability, and like I said, even if he wasn't autistic, I think as a young kid, being upset after a loss like that and being a little bit emotional, it's okay. I mean, there's been times where, I've been emotional about things, publicly. September 11th, 2000, when I was 16 when that happened. I was a bit emotional when that happened. But losing a card game, that can be emotional for a kid, granted, for someone like me, I'm not going to cry over losing a TCG game. But like, it's a lot of stress for these kids to be up there. Some of them want to be up there, and some of them are scared to be up there. And according to the rules, you have to be up there. If you're asked to be on camera, you don't really have a choice. Unless it's really up to the organizer at that point. Now, I believe that it talks about this in one of the professor exams, what you would do in that situation. I remember answering something like, if a kid has a religious reason to not go on camera, I would personally respect that. But, like you said, as you walk into a Pokemon event, you have the right to get your picture taken. And, I went extensively and talked about that as well. So, but I think there's a fine line of what you shouldn't and shouldn't do, especially with someone under the age of 10. And that's how I feel about it.
Okay. So there's probably unlikely that Pokemon's going to change the rules on that anytime soon, but in relation to rule changes, 2020 rule changes have come out recently for the trading card games rotation, starting in, I believe, August 1st is the first day the new rotation comes out.
It's the day before Worlds.
The day before Worlds, and it starts Ultra Prism on. So basically the first 4 sets of Sun and Moon are gone as of this new rotation. And includes Ultra Prism, Forbidden Light, Celestial Storm, Lost Thunder, Team Up, Unbroken Bonds, and Unified Minds, which isn't out yet. It'll be out in 3 months. So those will be the sets, unless May, June, yeah, that would be the sets out at that point. So for those of you who didn't know, that is the standard rotation going into Worlds. And yes, you literally are going to have like days to get your stuff together. Like, I think they've only ever done this once before, like 6 years ago, I think. Something involving Black and White.
It was during Uxie and they had to rotate out the Guardian. Was it Guardian? Oh, I forget what set it was now. Crap! It was Claydol and Uxie Legends Awakened.
Really?
Yeah, it was right before U.S. Nationals. They had to have a rotation.
Yeah. Well, it was a while ago. Let's put it that way. So another change they made for 2020, which they've enacted now, is if you're an organizer, your tournaments can now run with a minimum of 4 players, which is in line with Wizards' tournament operation system, as well as Konami's, which have been requiring a minimum of 4 players for a long time, primarily to support smaller stores with smaller player bases. As a number of stores have experienced, sometimes you only get 4 players, and that is a still 3-round Swiss tournament. But to tell 4 players, hey, you guys can't play in a tournament today because I can't sanction it, that's kind of lame. But now you can. 4-player minimum for all sanctioned tournaments. So the other change they made to the tournament operations manager is if you drop, if you still have a high enough ranking, you will still receive championship points. So if you're playing in a League Challenge, League Cup, and you decide to drop at the store level, and you still get in the top 4, or at least the top 4, and you qualify for championship points, even though you dropped, you will still get those. And this change came into play a couple of weeks ago, kind of just out of the blue, which was funny because I had 8 players, of 2 which dropped, and one of the guys who dropped was like, what? So he got championship points, was not expecting it, because he had to go do something else. I don't remember the exact cause, but still dropping just messes up tiebreaker points and whatnot. So now stores, if they're concerned about people dropping, they don't have to kind of ask people to play for a couple of rounds and to make their minimum. By the way, there is a minimum. You have to have a 2-round completion of the sanctioned minimum, which is now 4, to meet the sanctioning requirement, which I don't know if they've changed that. I did not see that in the rule document coming out with the tournament operations manager. which would make no sense if 2 people or 1 person dropped from a 4-player tournament, because then that would be a weird thing to happen. But up until this point, you could have a couple of drops in an 8-player tournament, as long as they stay for at least 2 rounds. So
talking about drops, I once had an 8-person elite challenge, and 3 of the people were new, and they didn't understand that it went 3 rounds, and they dropped after the first round because they only wanted to play like 1 round. And so my tournament went from 8 to 5, and that was really weird for a restart tournament. So. And I think, going down to 4, I understand why Pokemon did it. I think it's good for video game. As for card game, I don't think we need it. It seems like for card game, we always get 8 people anyway. But I think it's a good thing for video game, because video game it's being really, really rough. I mean, where I live, it's extremely rough to get 8 people. We used to be able to get people here, but you have to play on way in advance, like a month in advance to do it. And I've been trying to tell the organizers here, if you want to do a video game event, you have to do it a month in advance, and they haven't really listened to me, because apparently what I say doesn't really mean anything anymore. But I've been doing other things, so that's okay. But yeah, I think the whole dropping thing, I think we had that in the past when we had ELO and not CP. And the reason they made it when you dropped is because people were dropping to keep high ELO. And, it makes sense that you can drop, because let's say you're in top 8, right? And you just need the top 8 CP, right? And your friend needs top 4, or you want your friend to get first or something like that, and you drop. So I get that. But at the same time, I think there's only a few times I ever dropped from events, and that's when I went like 0-3 in a tournament. And there was only one other time in the tournament where I actually dropped before the event started, and that's because someone dropped a can of mace in the store. And I was like, no, I'm not going to deal with this, and I just left, and I dropped, and I think I got a refund. I'm not sure, but that was a long time ago. That was like 2006. But that was actually the only tournament that I went to, and I dropped before it started. And I think Pokemon needs to have things like that. So.
Yeah, it's really hard for me to get 8 players together for the video game. I've been scheduling video game tournaments literally right after the rule changes, so I would typically be the first one in the state, so I'd get the most potential number of players. I typically end up with mostly Ohio players. Most recently, I think I had one or 2 players from Michigan, 1 or 2 from Indiana, and maybe 1 or 2 from Pennsylvania, and then, of course, Ohio players. But then I also could say the same thing for my last league challenge, so it's just the way they scheduled. Sometimes I end up with out-of-staters. I'm in the exact center of northern Ohio, where if you wanted to drive 2 hours from the state border of Michigan, Indiana, or Pennsylvania, you could get here and play. For 8 players is maybe 2 hours at most in length of time. So, and some people do. I mean, they're bored one day. We do our tournaments are typically, unless they're attached to a league cup on a Sunday, typically on a Thursday evening. So you're talking about people who really, either can go in late on Friday or don't have anything going on Friday, who are willing to just travel out into just west of Cleveland just to play in what typically is a free tournament for championship points. So, sometimes we have a hard time getting to that 8th player, and I have to go to the people playing on the other side of the store and go, hey, can you guys jump into this tournament for a couple of rounds so I can, sanction? Well, now I'm not going to have to do that anymore, because I almost always have at least 6 players where, at minimum. So now I'm all good. I don't have to go and beg 2 people to enter.
I think the only downside to this is when you charge for events and you have 4 people and you charge like $5, that's $20. You give first place, a few booster packs, and they have to play 3 rounds, and you have to compensate the store, you have to compensate yourself, and you can't really do that with $20, or you can make a free league challenge, I guess. I mean, I remember one time I got only 8 people. I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna make this league challenge free because it's not worth divvying out everything up. But when we have game stores now, I know you run a game store, but a lot of game stores here can get really greedy about Pokemon and money, and they just see it as a money thing, and they don't necessarily want judges to come, and they think they can do it themselves, and that's actually hurt the Pokemon community here because I'm not saying names. There's a story here that has been a lot of people don't go to anymore because of the mass issues at that store, and they want to run their event by themselves, or they hire some really new judge who doesn't know what they're doing. And they've done that for years. I'm not they've done that for years, and I actually judged at this store, and they didn't like me because I wanted to DQ a kid because he asked someone for the win, and they're like, "Well, he's a kid, you shouldn't DQ him." I'm like, it's kind of in the rules, but whatever. Anyway, after that tournament, I didn't judge for them again. They didn't like that, but and then I get. Tina, hey, this store did this. I'm like, well, do a support ticket and that's it, and hope, they read it. But, I go up there maybe for the ARG because, when they do the ARG, it's kind of like they don't really judge the tournament at all. Like, they just don't care about it. But when you have like a cup or something, they usually have like some overzealous judge trying to judge it. And I think when you talk about 4-player tournaments, how much money is the store actually going to gain from that? Because they have to give first place something, right?
Well, I don't. Well, okay, so league challenges. Now, here's my problem. So they stopped providing support for premier challenges, which means that they don't get anything.
Never did.
No, they used to give league challenges the charms. I used to get like Pokeball charms, and then for a little while you were getting patches and little pins, and you get none of that anymore for the video game. And they also gave the pins away for the card game, but the trading card game, the top 4 players get those for the elite challenges. Get those promo cards, and this is my frame of mind right now. Now, doing free tournaments, I feel like if you're not going to give the Premier Challenge players anything, why even give anything to the League Challenge players anything? It seems a little unfair. But beyond that, when you do a free tournament, you're doing it on the expectation that the people coming in and spending money on other things. Our store, in addition to selling booster packs and sealed boxes and ETBs and theme decks, we also sell video games. That's how we benefit off the video game players. But we also sell drinks, we sell food, mainly like chips and candy bars, carbs and sugar, basically. So that's where we expect our revenue to come in when we do free events. When we do $5 events, there's a general rule that the player must get their money's worth. So each entry would generally come with a booster pack, and then we would put $1 or $2, depending on how many players show up, into the prize pool, and then we would spread that around to the top, whatever the number of players is, based on the number of people who show up, whatever. So essentially, minus our markup, would be distributed amongst the total amount of the players. Konami's has a strict, the value must be equal to the amount paid in, so they give you OTS packs, so you give them a booster pack and an OTS pack, and then you throw the difference of the OTS pack's value into a prize pool to add additional prize support. That's how they make up the difference. I believe that's what Pokemon's intending to do with prize cards. So they're saying, okay, here's a prize card, make up the difference with booster pack pricing, whatever. But again, no support for premium challenge or premier challenges, to say. So when you do free tournaments, you're kind of like, well, hey, thanks for playing, guys. When you're doing cheap tournaments and you're running the store, as I am running the store and the organizer, I don't have to worry about paying anybody. Well, I mean, technically I'm getting paid, but, that's a whole process involving a whole lot of other things. But when you involve an organizer and then you're going, okay, so how do I pay this guy? So what we do, like when I do League Cups, I have to pay an organizer, or sorry, a judge. What I do is I go, okay, so we'll do a per head per diem. So if we get 10 players, you'll get, and typically what I'll do is if you're a stage or basic stage judge, you'll get 50 cents per head. So that is, what is that? What is it? 10 players, 50 cents per head. That's like $5, right? I'm doing the math.
So let me tell you a quick story. I was at a League Cup and we had like 24 players, and so the store gave us 2 boxes in compensation, and one of the judges basically took 1 box for himself.
How many judges were there?
1.
There was 1 judge, and he gave you 2 boxes as a compensation. I'm a little confused.
No. So there was a store and a judge.
Okay.
Okay, so the store gave us 2 boxes for the event because we had 24 people. So the judge took an entire box for himself, and then he divvied the rest up between 1st to 8th. And 8th place got like 2 booster packs, which is not even $10.
What was the entry fee?
And I think $10.
Okay, yeah, he shortchanged everybody. The prize payout should be retail value more than the actual payment of the lowest prize recipient. So he should have at least given 3 packs.
Well, the thing is I understand you want to be compensated at a cup. Don't get me wrong. I used to judge League Cups, and sometimes when I did events, I actually gave myself less to give to the kids more and to the players more. I did that a lot for mid-season showdowns. Actually, I would, give myself maybe $30-$35, and this guy gave himself an entire box for judging a 24-person tournament. I mean, come on, it's like 5 rounds in top 8, and it's like for League Cups, I always expected a half a box, and sometimes I got paid less than that. But, for a League Cup, I think, the judges should expect like half a box. I don't think, I think you should get compensated to be milking the system.
Okay, so for Pokemon League Cups and Yu-Gi-Oh! YCSs, at one point in time, I would receive a half a box. That was typically the standard I expected. So for the longest time here, until they lost sanctioning, ARG ran the YCSs here for Konami, for Yu-Gi-Oh! And that's what I got. And then AJ Schumacher and Ryan Patterson, and then before them, John Latham, half a box. And there wasn't League Cups back then. It was the cities, which is fine, whatever. Half a box, all good. That is what I expected, and if it was possible now, PTOs are pretty much gone. I think the last League Cup I judged, where Ryan gave me prize support and not cash, he gave me a third of a box, which is still pretty good. I mean, think about the value of a third of a box retail. That's, what is that, 36, that's 12 packs. So that is still pretty good. That's $48, I guess, in packs, if you do the math. So, not bad. In cash, I think the cup after that, he gave me $40. So, whatever. But, and then AJ's the same situation. And then, back then when packs were cheaper, John, half a box, no questions asked, good to go. YCS is half a box. So, yeah, I think we've all come to that standard is, hey, if we're not getting paid, half a box seems right. But now we come to the era where the stores are now in charge of payment, and I really can't afford to be giving away potentially $50 worth of revenue to somebody when the event turnout may only be, for example, our last League Cup had 15 players. Mm-hmm. And there was, I think, the Europe Internationals was the only thing going on. So there really was nothing else going on. Or actually maybe Denver was going on. Maybe it was Denver that was going on. But it's still 15 players, and the closest thing was in Denver, and I had 15. So I had 2 judges lined up. One judge decided to play, which was great. So the other judge, I gave him 20. Typically, what I do is, as I said, 50 cents per head, but I had to deal with the 2 judges. One would get 20 because he was traveling extra far to get here. The other one would get 10 because he was a local organizer who was coming here anyway, and he wasn't sure if he was going to play or not. And I was like, well, I'm going to give you some money for some lunch if you decide to judge. But yeah, if you're a basics, 50 cents a head. If you're a stage 1, and chances are, as a stage 1, I only want one of you, it would be $1 a head. But if it's really good turnout and it does really well, and then I bump that up. And but to give away $50 worth of merchandise, unless the turnout is spectacular, our store can hold 45 people. Well, actually, our number just went up. We added 6 more chairs. We can hold 50 people now without putting out any extra furniture. So, I mean, if we got to 50 ever, and then, yeah, half a box, definitely a possibility now. But stores really have to be cautious about the bottom line. So when we do events at a store... I
understand about the bottom line. I'm just saying when they have that type of cash, it seems like sometimes people take advantage of it.
Oh, and I'm sure they
are. I understand small tournaments. Like, I've had small tournaments, right? When I have I actually had a formula of how I would do payouts. Like, I would flat out tell people I'm taking $1 a head, and, the rest is going to you guys or a judge. Depending on how many people I have.
Yeah, when I used to organize for stores on the regular, it was 50 cents.
I was actually one of the only organizers here that made that formula public.
Yeah, I've always shared with it. It was pretty much if I was taking care of all the money, it would be half the profit. So if I made $1 on everything, they would get 50 cents of each. So, and that was pretty much the deal. It was universal. Everybody seemed to like it. It was good to go.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're transparent about what's going on, I think people are more comfortable about that. The problem is when you have 24 people and you see 2 boxes sitting on the table, and then a judge takes half of that for himself. I think
that was dishonest. Yeah. That is beyond any. If you'd taken half a box, that would have been fine.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's the limit. If the event rocked hard and it was good and no complaints, half a box, fine, great. Walk away with it, no questions asked. There's a number of store owners around here who do not want to have Pokemon in store. They just want the special events, so they'll run the league, have somebody else come in and run the league. They don't want to. I try to offer store owners, hey, let me get you into organizer status so you can set up your stuff. Only one ever took the offer. The rest of them is like, no, I mean, you do it or have somebody else do it.
I mean, the only League Cup that I think I actually got paid a lot at was I judged an 84-person League Cup by myself, and they gave me 2 boxes for that, and then and they gave the rest to the people. I mean, so 84 players at $10. I mean, that's $840, and giving me 2 boxes out of that, doesn't take a lot away from the top 8 players. Top 8 players are actually very happy about what went down. So.
Okay, so now 2 shout-outs here. Now, I tell you, I say this with, because I don't like the top management of this company very, very much. But when I started working with this company, I was warned, don't work with this company, particularly because of the main owner. But I have to give props, because when I started working there, 2 people really showed me the best ways to do the business for prize payouts and whatever. First off, Sean Lydon, who's now at Full Grip Games in Akron. He worked at this company. I'm not going to say the company's name. You've kind of said it a couple of times because you go to their subsidiary events that stores around the country hold. But he has a business mind that is just spectacular. I kind of wish I had it. It is. He can in his head do the math so well that I'm like. But he figures out all of these things, and I've tried to retain as much as I can because it really helps you think, like, okay, how do I build an event and not lose money on it? Because one thing you don't want to do is lose money on an event. And a lot of stores make money by losing money. my point being Brad Hoisington, who is a co-owner of the company whose name I won't mention, he figured out that if you buy cards and you run a website, and I think maybe Sean might have been involved in this process, but if you do it and you're willing to lose money in the event and you profit on the website,
I don't understand why you don't want to say ARG. I mean, they've done so many shady things over the last few years, and
well, there's some people who believe any news, any promotions, any media coverage is good media coverage. I don't want to give them any whatever, but so if a business decides to run an event at the detriment of at initial loss, hopefully they have a plan B to recoup those losses. If you have an online store, as Full Grip and the other company does, they're willing to take those losses and they're willing to pay for good staff to run those events. I have to admit that Brad and Sean were willing to pay some good money for myself and, in one case, AJ and a couple other judges I was able to get to host events for their stores. And they were okay with taking the loss because they knew that they were going to buy some great stuff to sell on their website. So stores, it's okay if you have a good website to take a loss at an event if you know you can recoup the funds. I, however, don't have that type of luxury. We run entirely in store because I work with a partner who prefers to keep the community local. And that's fine. You can still go online and look up our inventory or whatever. Level 2 Games in Avon, by the way, level2games.com. But the goal of running events for any game is not to lose money. It is to bring people into your store and spend money. How you get them to spend money, be it online or whatever, that's your call. Just don't do it in the detriment of some businesses that have no longer exist, where they thought, well, if I do all of this lost stuff now, I still have assets, and those assets mean I have money. No, it doesn't work that way. Do not run your business in the ground hoping that in the future all this bad business is going to turn into good business. No. There was a store that used to exist here who believed that if he expanded into video games like arcades, that somehow his trading card game would be supplemented by the arcades, these expensive $1,600 plus machines, upwards of $6,500 machines. No, you do not make the quarters necessary to make up the cost of those expensive machines. You do not make the money necessary to buy Xboxes and PlayStations, give people tickets for spending money at your store, and then give away these items. It does not work. Okay? What works is incentivizing purchasing. So, give people bonuses for being regular customers. But the goal is you want people in your store spending money, and then you turn that around to make better events. There's my drivel for today. Organized play. There you go, Tina. Go. Tina's head has exploded now. A moment of silence. Nothing? You pooped out. I don't hear anything. Oh, you keep dying. Like, you literally, I hear one syllable and then it just bounces out. You see, I heard and then nothing.
Am I cutting out?
Yep, there you go. I just heard a full sentence. Yes, you were cutting out.
I guess so.
Oh, you guess so. Well, I mean, when you organized events, you did it with, like I do, like upwards of 3 months in advance, right?
With LCs, yeah, it's only a month in advance.
But well, I mean, you don't sanction them.
But for video game, I did as far in advance as I could. Because when I was an organizer, I had to organize around the regionals I was judging. Okay, the last season I judged, I did 9 regionals and 1 international championships as a judge. Okay, so I had to plan around those. I could never imagine running for public office and judging at the same time. And I think someone local to me mentioned that to me, and he's 100% right about that. I could never run, and I could never run and be an organizer at the same time. The amount of stress I've gone through in the last few months is insane. It's just absolutely just ridiculous. But that's beyond the point of, I think when it comes to organizing events, I try to organize events around other people, too. Because I don't want to clash with other people's events. So that was something I also did. I actually had my league website had a comprehensive calendar of all the local events, a comprehensive calendar of all the regionals. Before I left the professor program, I had a comprehensive worldwide regional list. And I did that internationally. I did all the international regionals for about a few weeks. And then I was going to keep that up. But yeah, it's been interesting.
Well, I currently plan around 2 other stores, and of course we all avoid regionals when we can. But the structure we have is In the Zone in Ashtabula, and then there's Kid Force Collectibles in Berea. And again, level 2 games in Avon. So what we'll do is they'll schedule their League Cup for, I think they have one coming up on May 25th. Let me double check that. Yes, May 25th. So our League Cup will be May 26th. Now I checked, and I don't think there's a regional happening then. So then what we'll do with Kid Force is they won't schedule their League Challenge because they don't have League Cups yet on that particular Sunday because their league is on Sundays. So then they'll schedule a League Challenge the weekend before, and then our league days are In the Zone and us. They do actually exist in the same day, but our stores are 2 hours apart, so we don't have the same general clientele, I guess. So, but our people will travel between the 2 League Cups. It's basically straight shot down I-90.
I guess the biggest issue we have locally here is people don't schedule around each other anymore. I was a master organizer, and unfortunately no one has stepped up to do that. But it is what it is. The people here do their best without that role, but it's something that people really need to plan in advance and have good communication on before, you especially Ohio has like 1 million organizers. I mean, you guys literally have 1 million organizers.
We have figuratively 1 million organizers. Well, when I schedule stuff, I post it on Facebook right away, so AJ, Ryan, Jonathan, Brock, Laura, etc. can all see it. And then my hope is that they plan around me because I plan way further ahead than they do. The exception being the most recent League Cup because I had to wait for In the Zone, which is Brock to schedule his. But I still plan my league challenges months in advance, even though I can't sanction them until the month of. Because I kind of need to, because I'm at a store and I need to schedule out my store's activities well in advance. Plus, I have to consider pre-release schedules for every game that we do, and so everything kind of needs to be laid out rather nicely. And it takes 2 days for me to do all of that, because then I have to build the Google Calendar and then the Facebook pages and create the actual sanctioning pages for whatever is required for whenever. It is a tedious thing, and then still also because I'm working at the store, run the store, which is why it takes 2 days instead of 1 day if I just was doing it and not being bothered in a vacuum. But I assume it takes a lot of effort for our other stores too. But luckily, for at least quarterly, it only takes 2 days, during one point in a calendar. Well, 4 points during calendar year, but then every month I still have to spend half a day doing the intricate, detailed stuff.
So I have a question for you. Do you think Pokemon is growing at this point? Because I've been to a lot of League Cups and League Challenges, and it just doesn't seem like it's been growing the last I want to say 3 to 6 months. Granted, I have been going to league a lot, but our last league challenge had 1 junior, 1 senior, and that's something that's been going on. And I think Pokemon needs to address the fact that we're not having a lot of the juniors and seniors anymore.
Yeah, because that's funny, because our last league challenge, league challenges were, I didn't need to find anybody to fill a seat, like, for a long time. Like, never had to go and find somebody to fill a seat to sanction. I actually had to find 2 people this last time, and all Masters players, mind you. But then our pre-release this time around, literally 1 kid out of 17 players. And then our League Cup, our League Cup actually had more kids than the previous League Cup. We had 5 kids, if I'm remembering right. Or do we have 5 kids? Maybe we have 3 kids. Or maybe we had the same number. We had kids.
We had kids.
We had kids.
No, we don't have kids, Anthony.
But I don't think the number was non-existent. I feel like it was, if not the same, more kids than previously. But what is really showing to me is that the league isn't really happening. Like, so league is on Thursdays. So what I find is happening is the players aren't just showing up for league anymore. They're showing up for the cups and the challenges, and then they're just casually showing up at irregular times, not necessarily to meet each other. They're just kind of there, they shop and then they leave. And so league is disinterested in them. So now what I end up doing is they'll come in for, now the league night is the same night as the league challenges. So I'll have to, they'll come in early, so then they'll play, and then, okay, well, you're here for league, I guess, so sign in, here's your promo card, whatever. And I end up in a situation where I'm still reporting league, and then I'm reporting bracket, whatever, for league challenge. Now, most often than not, most people who participate in the league challenge aren't playing, most people who participate in the league on the league challenge day isn't playing in the league challenge. So I'll typically get a couple of people who are just watchers. But otherwise, no one shows up for league any other day. So it is weird. That is the unusual thing. And it's only been happening for the last few months. Probably the beginning of winter last year. Or end of fall, I guess. So that is different. Kids, haven't been seeing really very many kids. I had one sign up a couple of weeks ago just because he likes the cards for the league. He really isn't interested in playing too much.
The promotionals?
Right. Yeah. And his grandmother was really hesitant about signing him up, and I'm like, well, frankly, that's the only way you can get the free cards. I really can't just give them out. And then, let's see, what else? Yeah, that is legit the only kid that's signed up other than the people who played in the pre-release who were new. So,
well, the thing is, don't necessarily have to the dual deck with me all the time, the little dual funny deck that has 40 cards or whatever it is, or 30 cards. Yeah, that crap. Sorry, Pokemon, but those things are just, for fun. We all know that. But yeah, it's you don't necessarily have to spend money on the game.
We have demo decks, but we also sell the dual decks. Right now we have the Libra Pikachu Lycanroc one, and then we just ordered the Unbroken Bonds decks. I tried to get the team up decks, but I just cannot find them. Oh well, I had to find other decks. We were literally down to one Lycanroc deck, which is in the 2019 rotation list, so it is not going to be a 2020 legal. So, whatever. But, because I want to make sure that new players come into the game and have a deck that, if they decide to modify, that they still be standard legal when the rotation happens in a few months. But, yeah, they could buy the two-player decks.
You know what? We're all talking about Worlds and a rotation right before Worlds, and because, we're losing Zoroark and everything. But you know what we really troll with Pokemon? They could announce Worlds is expanded.
I know they do expanded events, like side events, but to have an expanded Worlds, I think would destroy a lot of people's hopes and dreams.
I mean, what if we had an expanded world? See, imagine the troll Pokemon would do. People would be so mad. It would actually be funny how mad these people were.
It would, because some of the regionals that are expanded, I can only imagine the chaos at a world's level. Make Night March great again. Yeah. Anyway.
I really hope Pokemon looks at expanded for next year, because Texas regionals for the last 2 years has had expanded regionals, and it's not right. That's all.
Yeah, because I want to say the Origins coming up. It's like well, let's see. There's Origins, and then the next weekend it's North American Internationals here in Ohio. So like literally one after the other, and I believe there is expanded sides at both. So if somebody really wants to play expanded, at least here in the United States, North America, Ohio area, they can do that there. But yeah, at the world's level, I feel like they're going to keep standard because that's what sells the cards. Because they want people to keep buying the new packs. I mean, if they focused on expanded as the world's main stage type of event, I think the sales would slow down because people would be looking for second-hand or second market cards to complete older decks that are maybe better than something you would get out of a standard deck. I played online on expanded with a standard deck and got my butt handed to me, so I know those exist out there.
Yeah, I just think with the whole rotation, it just screams Pokemon. Oh, by the way, our world is expanded. Oh, you think you're gonna have a Ultra Prismon Worlds? Nope. I think that would be the biggest troll Pokemon could have done. It would be hilarious. Like, but people are gonna hate me for saying it's okay.
Okay, so for those of you who are listening, next time, I don't, because next week is the election for you, right?
The election for me is this Saturday.
Oh, that's a weird day. It's usually they're Tuesdays here in Ohio. So, assuming that you're available next Wednesday, we will do the draft for Unbroken Bonds. I have the materials for said thing. You hear me starting up the game. Anyway,
So how do you want to do that? Because I don't think we can do it with 6 packs.
No, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a bunch of codes, because I think if I open up the one on my system, it'll open it up on my system.
We're going to need at least 12 codes to pull off a 60 card deck.
Well, I'm going to give you the kit code, which gives you the staples, and then I'll also have a kit code because I bought 2 kits. And then I'm going to give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think 7 packs that goes with it. Yeah, that is the total of comes with the kit. Yeah, so because you get the kit and 4 packs inside, so I'll give you 4 codes plus the 3 packs you get afterwards. So you get 7 codes plus the kit code.
Yeah, but you usually make a 40 card deck. We have to make 60 card decks.
Oh, that's right, we do. Okay, then yeah, I guess we can up it. Because I also am opening up this week, tomorrow night, which you'll be able to see on the live stream on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. I will be opening up a booster box of Unbroken Bonds, an ETB of Unbroken Bonds, as well as these kits and the packs live streamed tomorrow night at 10:30 p.m., assuming I can close the store in time and get it done. So you get to see what I get in real life, and then we'll get to do it again on online. So what I think what we're going to do format-wise is basically we'll open our packs live on stream, and we won't say what we got. We were like a giddy on the stream, but we cannot reveal to each other what we got, okay? And assuming we got participants helping us out in our channels, we will build the decks with what we have, and we of course have energies, so we don't need any special code or anything for that. So we're all good on energies, and we'll try our best to build a deck. Hopefully, we don't end up with a situation where somebody gets a Restroom Charizard and then 59 energies. But you'd never know.
That would be interesting.
Right. That happened at my pre-release on Thursday. So, and he won.
Is your Kiawe's not in the set, right?
No.
Imagine if Kiawe is in the set. Oh, Restroom Charizard Kiawe. That's all I'm playing.
Oh, so another thing that I remember, Pokemon is getting rid of some features from its website coming up. And essentially, if you were a fan of the RPG elements that they tried to put into the game, or into the website, those are more or less going away. And
the badges, or what are you talking about?
Yeah, so let me see if I can get back to it. I feel like I clicked the wrong thing. There you go. Okay, so they're getting rid of the stamps and the mini games, and I guess the reason is to spend your coins, I guess. And I'm trying to find where hold on. Yeah, because there was a pop-up on the website, but it seems to have disappeared when you first log in. And
that's unfortunate. I really do like the badges, because I've been a part of the OP website for over 10 years, so I have the 10-year plus badge.
Now I'm kind of curious what badges I have. I have the Professor Rank Stage 2 badge. Oops, no. I have the stamp. Let's see. I'm level 16. I don't know what that means. Make a splash. What's this mean? Oh, so January 6, 2019, I have 9-year badge. So I have the 9-year badge in 2016 or 2019. Actually, the 9-year badge is the highest badge. So you have
I have a 10-year badge for some reason.
Really? It's showing up as 9-year.
Oh, I have 10 years.
Higher. I don't care. Okay. They also have Welcome to Kalos, Pokemon Explorer Level 3, Looking Good, Episode Expert, Online All-Star. So they have all these badges. I guess they're going bye-bye. I kind of wish I could see the little...
I wonder why they're getting rid of badges. Maybe they need more space on their site for...
Okay, here it goes. Upcoming changes to features on Pokemon.com. The mini-games and library and leaderboards will be gone. The Trainer Club stamps, gone. The Trainer Club Pokédex summary, gone. The Trainer Club collectible gallery, gone. Pokemon TV friend activity, gone. Builder, gone. Store, gone. Tokens, gone. These changes will not affect your current tokens or your trainer avatar in the online game. Yeah, so, wah. So basically it looks like they're shifting what they can to the online game, and then the rest of it is going bye-bye.
Rip.
Yep. See, now I have over 500 coins. I wonder where that's going to go. Because at some point they were synced up with the online game, but now there's a 150 coin difference between the two, so I'm kind of wondering what's up with that.
I don't know. I just kept on buying Avatar stuff on the site.
Yeah,
I kept on. I loved buying Avatar stuff. Like, I really wish he had more Avatar stuff. Pokemon's gonna hear this. Like, Tina wants more Avatar stuff.
Yeah. Wow. I haven't been on this bit for a while. It was like, I know I bought like the Kyogre stuff, I think, at one point. I bought like stuff that made me look like a Men in Black. But yeah, they've released Salazzle stuff recently. Tapu Koko, Lycanroc. I wish you would tell me which ones I own. Oh, okay. So I own Groudon. Okay. Some of this stuff's pretty cool. Yeah, definitely. If you don't want to lose your stuff, or want to keep it on your TCGO, you need to go buy stuff while you have the coins. Because it'll be gone. We'll be gone. Wow. Pretty. Okay, and at some point I may have to actually do this. Some of this stuff actually looks pretty neat. So, because it makes me wonder, like, can you build your avatar in the... Oh, yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can.
But
yeah, when the whole Avatar thing came out, I spent like an entire day working on it. I love building avatars. Like when I play MMOs, I spend way too much time building my avatar.
okay, so the app shows everything you already own, so you technically need to use the website to buy what you want, because if you don't buy it, you're not going to get any more.
Yep.
Yeah, because it looks like that's going to be the end of it. You're not going to be able to buy more.
Yep.
Oh, that sucks.
Yup. Hey, Pokemon, can you not get rid of the avatar stuff? Please? Pretty please? Smiley face? No? Okay. They're not gonna listen to me anyway. I'm not gonna like Tina's like talking about all this shit like Avatar.
Watch the language. We got children. I mean, yeah, I don't have children, but you know, children exist.
You do?
I'm told. I don't know.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, well, well, that's weird. Okay, see, my Poke coins just matched up with what I have in game on TCGO, so now they're all lined up. That's weird. Huh. It's kind of funny. Now I don't want to spend any coins. Well, fine. Whatever. Okay. Oh. So anyway, yeah. So we'll talk more next week because I'll have more than enough codes so we can figure it out. Because there's 10 cards per pack, not counting the energy they throw in there obligatorily. So there's 25 cards in the Staples pack. I mean, because the Staples pack is split between fire fighting and fighting water or something. I can't remember. Oh no, fighting colorless. That's right. So it is something. Okay. So do you want to play some TCGO?
I guess so.
Okay. So I'll play a couple of games of this and call it the day because I am melting. It is humid as crap out here.
I didn't know you could melt, but okay.
Well, figuratively I can. Trying to like do the numbers in my head, like, okay, it's 25 there.
Nah.
Well, I see if they give you technically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 packs of a 40 card deck, 60 card deck, 8 pack. Yeah, 8 packs makes sense. Yeah, okay, yeah. Standard format, please. Challenge me when you're ready.
Okay, yeah, I'm in the middle of a game.
Oh, you were already playing. And you were talking to me. So many
I
lies.
was? I can talk and talk to you at the same time. It's not like a huge accomplishment.
Did you just start your game?
No, I'm pretty far through.
Oh.
Here, I'll let me just end this turn and I'll scoot.
Finish him. Fatality.
Mortal Kombat. Okay.
I want to get Mortal Kombat 11, but I feel like I'm just going to wait until it's like Game of the Year edition comes out. I can't see myself throwing another $100 at a game. Like the last couple of games I've bought, I've waited until like a cheaper version of it's come out.
Okay, sent you an invite.
I don't know what format that is.
Standard.
Oh. It's showing me all my decks. It makes no sense.
So, if you guys are watching this and you have a local election on May the 4th, make sure you vote on May the 4th for your local officials. If you need a website, 411. I think it's .org. League of Women Voters. Very good website. You just put your address in. You don't need to know any precinct numbers or anything. You just put your address in and you can see who's on your ballot. Sponsored by me. Vote for me on May the 4th if you live in my area. Thank you.
Voting in Ohio is May 7th, so yeah, that. Yarmity. Only one mulligan. Oh, poops-a-doo. Wait. You're weak against me. Yay! Oof, let's not do that. Spectacular.
So on the ballot, my name is actually Christine, in parentheses, Tina, and then Mitchie.
I want to say, on the ballot here, my name is under write-in.
Are you a write-in candidate?
No, I'm not running at all. The plus side of being a non-party is I don't got to vote either. It's all party crap. There's not even an issue up, I don't think, for this area. Ah, poops-a-doo.
Poops-a-doodle. You're the one playing lightning.
You're the one playing lightning. I'll make you play lightning.
I am playing lightning. You're the one who's playing fighting, so I'm weak to y'all.
What do I want to do, I say? This is not a good choice. Ah, poops-a-doo. Huh. What to do, I say to myself.
So have you ever played Minecraft?
No, I have no interest in the game whatsoever.
Lies and slander! How do you not have any interest in Minecraft?
I just don't. It's not my cup of tea, I guess.
How? You can build anything you want. I mean, I built a big island in the middle of nowhere on a 1/1000 scale of the world.
Wasn't that cheeky? Also, the first time that's ever paid off, by the way. Hmm. Mm.
Huh. Doopy doopy doop. I don't like using Steven's Resolve in the middle of the game, but
Oof, no thank you. La, la, la. Well, I'll ruin that strategy. Okay, let's see. We are not doing that. Bicycle, bicycle. Huh. Well, that sucked. Truly not what Mother Nature intended. Egg McGuffin. Power that bad boy up. Dang, I just needed one more turn too. Crap! I had Guzma after that trade. Wow, that was spectacular.
Yeah, I was worried you had Goose Run and you used Copycat. And I was like, well, I win.
No, I got Guzma after I copycatted and then did trade. I got 2 Guzma after that.
That's not my fault. That's your fault.
Okay, send the next invite.
Okay, I'm gonna play with a different deck really quick. Holy crap, I slide out. Give me a second.
Yeah.
So actually, this race has been a little bit bigger than I thought it would be. Usually odd numbered races, odd year races, or really small, even year races are really big. Because it also correlates with our city council race. But we have 16 people on the ballot, and do know that's It's a lot of people, and this is the most people we've ever had on one ballot ever. And no matter what happens from this point on, like this is history. Like, we have a 19-year-old in this race. We have myself in this race. We're both. I'm still really young. I'm not 19, obviously, but I'm gonna play a different deck. You remember me playing this deck, right? You hated me playing this deck. I think the first time I played this deck, you're like, "Oh, you're playing all these different colors, yay!" And then you realize it kills people. Smiley face.
Ricky Spanish.
I just got 4 tails. Rip. Rip TCGO blip rates. Did you play that out of order? No, you didn't have any other energy. Huh. Okay. Oh, you're going to hate me.
I mean, the fact that you got, let's see, 1, 2 stage 1s as stage 2 in your second turn, you're not my favorite person already, so... All that effort to clear that damage. Ah, poops.
Well, that's cute, I guess.
Thanks for the pity. If you do it right, you can pretty much bench me, I think. You didn't get one, wow.
Nah, I couldn't get it. It's okay.
I wasted it, I know.
I'm like, yeah.
It's game, though, I mean... But I think next week with the draft I have better luck because hopefully... Maybe I can rig it. Make sure I get the best codes. It's too bad the codes are random.
Okay, guys, I have to get going. Oh. But, yeah, I hope you guys tune in next week. I think the league challenges are coming up beginning of May. That's about it.
Oh, I was like, oh, we're waiting for me. Oh, I got nothing. Normal league challengey stuff coming up this month. Oh, don't forget, Unbroken Bonds is now for sale at stores that ran pre-releases. Otherwise, it comes out on Friday.
I have to get going. I'm sorry. I have a call to be in, apparently. Needed.
Okay, so thanks for watching, and see you next time.